Well, few cars offer you distinctive styling on the outside, and fewer still offer you a very charming personality. But when it comes to the new Ford Figo, it offers you both these things and a whole lot more. So is this a car which you should buy with your heart as well as head together? We'll find out on the show today. Well, the first thing that greets you as soon as you enter the cabin of the Ford Figo is this solid thunk from the doors, and this really inspires a lot of confidence, especially if you have family traveling with you most of the times. And as you can see, headroom is pretty impressive, and I have adjusted the front seat for my height and my driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10". And what Ford have done over here is a very smart thing, a very intelligent thing. What they have done is scooped out the backrest of the front seats to give you greater knee room over here. And what they also have done is that they have raised the front seats up, and what that ensures is that I have place where I can stretch my feet. So overall, the back seat of the Figo is one of the better ones in this segment. Well, the first negative, of course, is the fact that the door bins have no place in them to keep those bottles, and that can be a little irritating when you are on that highway trip. And there's a big hump in the floor panel over here, so whoever is sitting in the middle will really have to fight with the other occupants for sheer knee room. Well, here I am inside the cabin of the new Ford Figo. Well, it's an all-black cabin, which means that this car feels a lot more sportier than the beige inside its bigger brother, the Aspire, and Ford have done a good job to offer this in black in that sense. Well, the first good point inside the Figo's cabin is the seats offer you very good support as well as cushioning, and the under-thigh support is excellent, and that's largely because these seats are not only wide but also very long. So what that means is that even taller passengers get good support for those under-thighs. Also, the lower back is well supported, unlike the Hyundai Grand i10, which feels a little soft. The other good point is that it's a feature-loaded car and also very good in terms of safety. You get 6 airbags in the top-of-the-line version, which makes it not only one of the safest cars in this segment, but one of the best cars for safety across a lot of other segments as well. You also get voice-enabled controls over here, where you can, of course, use a voice to guide you through the menus on the system. And you also get Ford's Sync app, which helps you navigate the menu via your smartphone. Well, this car really is feature loaded, and talking about all of them will really take up more than 5 minutes of video space. So what you can do is click on this link below and find out about all the features across variants of this car. Another area where the Figo impresses is in the practicality department, and this car really does come with a lot of places to keep your knickknacks in. You of course get 9 bottle holders over here in the front seats, you get 3 over here, and you get 3 each in the door over the driver's side as well as the passenger side. So one of the best cars, in fact the best car in terms of practicality in the hatchback space. The boot at 257 litres is bigger than its main rivals, the Maruti Suzuki Swift as well as the Hyundai Grand i10. On the plus side, there's very minimal suspension intrusion, but yes, the loading lip is a little tall. You will have to put in your back when you load this luggage. But that said, if you are planning to buy your month's groceries in this shop, then the boot is sufficient. But yes, if you are someone who regularly goes to the airport to pick up his cousins or in-laws from that place, then this car will not be enough to keep that luggage. Well, if you want to improve the capacity further, you can of course flip the back seats backrest down. But even when you do that, there's a bit of a hump over it. It's not a completely flat-lying back seat. So what that means is that it's a decent place with the back seat down, but still not as good as its main rivals. Well, so you get 3 engine options to choose from if you decide to buy the new Figo. You get a 1.2 litre petrol, which is of course the base engine, and you also get a 1.5 litre petrol, which will only come with a 6-speed automatic, and you also get a 1.5 litre diesel, which is the most powerful diesel at this price point. It offers you about 100 bhp of power. While all 3 motors are pretty refined and efficient, it is the 1.5 diesel which stands out because it offers you a very punchy mid-range, and it drives like a petrol motor. It doesn't have that same turbo lag which most other cars at this price point and at this segment have. So in that sense, it's a very nice motor to drive, and it starts responding from roughly about 1500-1600 RPM. And when you are in the city and driving around town traffic, that means that you don't really need to be changing gears very often. But shifting gears isn't really a big issue on this car, and that's largely because the gearbox is a very crisp and very direct unit, and its springy and accurate throws mean that you will really enjoy shifting gears in this car. In fact, you will be shifting gears just for the heck of it. Well, in terms of refinement, this diesel engine really is superb, and when you are cruising on the highway and doing speeds of about 100-110 kph, then the engine is spinning at a relatively low 2100-2200 rpm, and in fact the engine isn't very audible at all. You could in fact be forgiven for thinking that you are inside a petrol car. Now, talking about ride and handling, this car offers a very nice suspension setup, and it's a good balance between agility as well as comfort, and when you're on the highway it remains very stable, and probably is one of the most stable cars at this price point in the Indian market right now. And even when you're in the city and are maneuvering over badly patchwork roads, very few of those potholes and bad surfaces actually filter into the cabin. It's only the larger crevices which manage to make their presence felt inside. So again, a very good job in terms of overall ride comfort inside the new Ford Figo. Well, the steering wheel on the new Ford Figo seems to be inspired by the latest generation of Hyundai cars, which offer you very light steering wheels. So in that sense, it's a pretty good steering for someone who drives the car himself, or for ladies in the house who don't really like very heavy steering wheels. But if you are someone who's a keen driver and really likes having a lot of weight in the steering and a lot of accuracy in the steering, then those people will be disappointed. But to be honest, a lot of people who buy cars in this category and in this segment are purely family buyers and not people who will be taking their car on the track. So in that sense, Ford really is catering to the broader market. But there's still some fun to be had for keener drivers, and that's largely because this car offers you very grippy tires on the outside. The chassis balance is very good, and that along with this crisp gearbox means that you can extract a little bit of fun from the chassis out there. But I have to say that I'm very impressed by this 1.5 litre diesel engine. This 100 bhp unit is very good and really does take the game forward for Ford in this segment. Another area where the Ford Figo impresses is in the braking department, and the brake pedal feel is very good, and the braking itself is very linear, and it does really drop the anchor down when you really hit the brakes hard. So overall then, the Ford Figo comes across as a car which is big on personality, big on driving dynamics, big on safety and features, and comes at an affordable price tag. And all this means that this is one of the best small car packages that you can buy at the moment in India.